Welcome to Pitch Day for 500K. We are here at Woven Workspaces. Thanks for hosting us. And what a lovely space. What a great space this is. Today, we're going to hear from Josh with EIS Automation and Evan from CKBL to tell us about their startups. And congratulations, guys, for getting through our gauntlet to get to speak today. The top candidates go through. There's about 15 or 20 folks who want to be up here every other week. My name's Jeff Sailing. I'm one of the co-founders and the executive director here at StartUpNV. And StartUpNV is Nevada's statewide nonprofit startup accelerator and incubator. We operate 7 free entrepreneurship programs supported by government grants and corporate sponsors. We get additional financial support in the form of donated equity from the founders who we invest in. They give the nonprofit a little tiny piece of their company. So hopefully when it goes giant, that benefit accrues back to the nonprofit. And the investors in our investment funds also donate a portion of their profit to the nonprofit as well. So our fortnightly pitch day offers companies the opportunity to join our accelerator program with investment from FundNV and our investor syndicate. And then that all gets matched by Nevada's SSBCI program. Now, since 2021, we've directly invested in 25 companies, just a little over $13 million. About $4 million of that has come this year, just since the beginning of 2025. We've seen an additional $6.5 million invested by the SSBCI program and our other partners as well. Now, our startup investments that I just talked about, that $13 million, have grown in value to almost $50 million. So if you're an investor with us, you should be smiling right now. If you want to become an investor with us, I'll tell you about that when we get to the end, how to do that. So we do have the partners that have amplified all of our investments since on top of the money that we put in. I want to be clear about that. The money that actually gets invested in these startups does not come from the nonprofit. It actually comes from private individuals who've put their own money at risk in our funds. And all of those millions of dollars that I talk about is not invested by the StartUpNV nonprofit. It's actually invested by individual people who have invested with us. Now, here's the legal disclaimer. Today's pitches are for investment from our legally compliant venture funds and syndicate. They're restricted to SEC accredited and Nevada certified investors. Now, we welcome the community to attend for educational purposes, but these pitches are not considered a general solicitation. The founders here are pitching just to our investment group. Now, special thanks to our sponsors, the City of Las Vegas, Clark County, Governor's Office of Economic Development, the EDA, and others. Thanks for sponsoring us. We could not do the work we do without those sponsors. Evan, you ready?
Ready.
Excellent.
Hi, everybody. I'm Evan. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me. I was sold my soul and did the corporate thing for a couple of years. This is the first time I'm back to my roots as an entrepreneur, and I'm really excited to be here, if you can tell. So for the last couple of years, I was at Lee Enterprises, which is the largest local newspaper publisher in the country, publicly traded company. I was their VP of AI and emerging tech. And basically what that means is they took like the most disheveled looking guy that gets stuff done, and they were like, ChatGPT, all right, man, make something, figure it out. So long story short, they have 50,000 SMBs. Historically, they've sold newspaper advertising. Over the last couple of years, they've gone to a digital first model. They have over 200 different digital products that they sell. So if you think about SEO, Facebook ads, Google ads, Meta ads, Facebook ads, TikTok, SEO services, you name it, they do it, website design. And so I got the fun job of basically scheduling meetings with hundreds of AI tool companies and looking at all these different point solutions as far as AI tools, and then figuring out how to implement them across a traditional media company's very complex workflows across their hundreds of employees and hundreds of products. And so what found out pretty quick that it's a pretty tough lift. And so me as like an entrepreneurial minded guy, if I was having issues with this in an agency, that this had to be a problem that other agencies and people were going through. So again, tool overload. Once we would implement these tools, they didn't speak to each other. So the workflows were all fragmented. So sometimes these really incredible outputs would actually add more work from an agency side to manage these tools. And so again, the problem is tool overload, complex onboarding, unscalable pricing. So the pricing is all based on a seat model. So again, you get the tool, you onboard the tool, and then you pay for the tool based on usually like an overall per seat fee, which doesn't work at scale for these large agencies. You really need a usage-based model. So fragmented workflows. And then the other problem is that most of these tools are self-serve. So it's simple for most people in this room, probably, I'm guessing, because we're more tech savvy. A lot of the AI tools are pretty simple, couple clicks. But when you're talking about SMBs in Nebraska, North Carolina, even us, they tend to be older folks. There's a reason why they're hiring an agency to do their Facebook ads or their Google ads or their SEO. They don't understand AI, let alone maybe they've used ChatGPT a few times. They don't understand how to prompt. They don't understand the capabilities. They're not keeping up with the tools and the workflows. And so you have this gap of traditional agencies and these AI tools, but then you have this gap of people that want the AI solution, but don't know how to get to the output. So, and I saw that at Lee Enterprise. So what we're building, CKBL, is the middleware customer knowledge layer that lets agencies plug AI tools into their clients' workflow with usage-based pricing and centralized data. So what happens is today, again, as example for Lee, they have CRM, which they have all their business information, but then they have a bunch of other systems. So they have a system that aggregates all of the campaign data. Then they have a photo dam that integrates the customer creatives. But they don't have a way to like take all that stuff and put them into one place and then create these agentic, implement them within these agentic workflows. So that's what we're building. Unified client knowledge layer across all tools priced on a usage, not licenses, centralized access to business info, creative assets, CRM data, campaign history, modular no-code interface for agencies to configure AI services, and agentic workflow compatibility, content ads, CRM, any AI tool that you can think of. The idea would be to integrate it into this platform for these workflows. Why now? AI marketing spend is projected to exceed 107 billion by 2028. Over 250,000 traditional marketing agencies globally. 90% of agencies say AI is critical to their 2025 offerings, yet only 15% have integrated multiple tools effectively. Agentic tools that act independently require shared access to client data, flexible integration layers. Pretty much the same slide. We'll just skip that one. So my business model is a SaaS platform fee. Agencies pay monthly for access to the data layer and ingesting all their information. Integration revenue, agencies may pay for onboarding, white label configurations, deeper customization, usage-based billing. So based on the actual output of the agentic tool, whether it's an ad, article, post, et cetera, and arbitrage revenue. So we package and resell API calls from the third-party AI tools and make an arbitrage. Traction. So like I said, was a corporate guy. Basically, AI is amazing. I built this product in about 4 weeks for Lee, came up with this idea, and they are generating off of one AI tool that we integrated. They're generating $5 million a year. They're able to create a content builder that allows their customers to create articles and publish them directly on all of their local 75 newspapers. So left 3 weeks ago officially, started CKBL, and I've already brought on the Vegas Chamber and MPG, which is a retail market performance group. So we're generating about 50K a month in ARR. And I'm going to show you real quick if this works. Let's see. So there's no sound, but that's okay. So this is the article creator that we built for Lee. So again, one of their SMBs goes on. We have all their data. We bring in their data with one push of a button. They can actually auto-publish an article directly onto one of their relevant Lee local newspaper website. So an example for Vegas, a Vegas client that the RJ would have. RJ's not a customer yet. RJ, if you're watching this, hit me up, Review Journal. But basically, there was a client for the RJ, and they could go onto the RJ, their system that they would offer their customers. It would pull in their data, create a relevant article, and then the client could edit and approve that article directly onto the RJ's website as sponsored content. And then I have a partnership with Perplexity, so then I push all the content over to Perplexity and then other AI search products. So just walking through the process a little bit. I'll fast forward, you can see. And again, like in doing this for Lee Enterprises, there was concerns because obviously when you think about AI content creation, there's issues with making sure that the content is accurate and honest. And there was a lot of integrations that we had to do with their content management system. They had a system called Blocks that we used to be able to push the articles directly into that system. Go-to-market strategy. So I think we're on a really good path. So you have all these SMBs and they obviously have relationships with these agencies. So the idea is to get to the agencies and then distribute through the agencies. So we don't actually have to go to the end customer. We can go to agencies who have historical relationships with all of these end users. So build network effects by simplifying access to multiple AI tools, package AI bundles, content, social ads into modular services, empower customers to launch their own branded AI platforms with built-in tools, workflows, and monetization options. Sorry, I'm looking at the clock here. So the team right now is me, founder, CEO, serial entrepreneur, done a bunch of interesting stuff, and Holden, who's built a CTO, developer out in the Bay Area. I've worked with Holden in the corporate environment to build some really cool stuff. I met him at a Berkeley hackathon, and I'm really excited to be in a spot now to work with Holden on CKBL. So we're looking for 750,000. We want to continue to build out the AI layer infrastructure to be able, right now we're manually creating tools or leveraging some tools that the customers want, but we want to get into a place where it's more open source, an API layer, secure API layer that we can get people and companies to build on top of and leverage a bunch of these different AI tools. So expand integrations and then some enhanced sales go-to-market efforts. There's a lot of training. There's a lot of operational needs that I think we could address. So that's it.
So thanks everyone for joining us today, both here in the room and online. Not sure we have enough beer for everybody though. I shouldn't have taken the one I took, so I'm a bad host. Thanks again, everybody, for joining today. And thanks to Josh and Evan for their presentations today. Really, really intriguing businesses. And whether you're watching with us live or whether you're watching later, hopefully you'll dig in and have a few additional questions for us through YouTube. A couple of quick reminders as we're wrapping up here. For other founders out there that might be watching today live or on YouTube after, if you're seeking capital, head over to StartUpNV.com. Fill out one of those sort of annoyingly long applications where he asks you a zillion questions about your firstborn and your first kiss and all that sort of stuff. And get up here one of these fortnightly pitch days and let's hear from you. If you're an investor and you think these ideas are interesting and you maybe want to invest either directly or through one of our funds, you can go to startupnv.org and submit a question there as well. Or you can go onto one of our investment websites, fundnv.com, 1864.fund, or if you want to be more of an angel investor, join us at sierraangels.com. Thanks again to the founders for presenting today. And I also want to thank Brian and Woven for having us out here. I always enjoy coming over here. And if you wouldn't mind, join us again in 2 weeks for another pitch day for 500K. And until then, take care of yourself. And if you can, someone else too. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks.